Never watched Roarrior, so like warrior, but he roars. He was a Roarrior. So yeah, never watched this video, so I have no opinion right now. I don't know anything about him. I don't even want to go through the comments to get an idea. I will like and subscribe, because anyone who's making Ashes of Creation content, especially when it gets more views than he has subs, and he appears out of nowhere and he has way more subs than me, not that it's impressive, I am going to watch their video. And I'm going to sub.
About player versus player
and let's
in
see.
MMORPGs.
PvP and death.
Something I often talk about myself. In my last video, I went into detail about how PvP is going to affect you and the world around you, the player, in Ashes of Creation. But in that video, I specifically did not go into detail about how flagging for PvP works in this game. It's pretty different from how you do it in, say, World of Warcraft or
There's no
War.
flagging.
In modern World of Warcraft, if you're in a city, you can activate War mode and you're now flagged for PvP in the open world. In New World, if you're in a town, you can press the default U key and that will turn on PvP. However, in Ashes of Creation, you do not get a choice. Instead, they are using a corruption system that comes with 3 different stages of a PvP flag. And when I say you don't get a choice, that means you can be attacked
PvP is
or
always
attack
on.
someone else at any time for any reason. You'll only
I just hope there's like a toggle of like being able to attack players or not. So for example, if you're just doing AoE on mobs and some player comes around and you nick him by mistake, I would wish that to not be the option, right? I don't want to accidentally hit a person that I didn't mean to hit. However, so like there's a toggle for PvP off, in the sense it's like you won't automatically attack another person if he's in the area of your effect. However, if somebody attacks you, your toggle doesn't need to work to attack them back. Right, so your abilities will hit that person as long as he attacked you first.
Be safe in a town or freehold, and only when a node siege is not currently active or successful. But before we dive into the flagging mechanics, I think it is very important to talk about what happens when you die. It's not a simple run back to your corpse. When you die in Ashes of Creation, you will be penalized with a number of negative effects. Now, the important thing to note here is that these negative effects apply to you no matter how you die. You get ganked, you drown, you disconnect, and a Minotaur kills you, you fall off a cliff,
that's kind of annoying,
by a boss, whatever. It doesn't matter. You will gain death penalties. I know it sounds screwed up if you die to something that may not be your fault. This is, of course, subject to change, but for now, that's just the way it is.
The thing is, it's like you can't really change, like, well, if you die while you're disconnected, then you won't get penalized. Okay, well, every time you're about to die, just fucking close the game as if you're disconnected, and there you go, right? So it's like, you know, you can always like cheese it. So I'm okay with it. I personally don't like death penalties as a whole, but if you're gonna have death penalties, then keep it even across the board.
So what are these death penalties? Let's list them off. We have
hopefully no gear.
experience debt. This doesn't cause
I hate that.
you to de-level, but instead you enter into a state in which any experience you would gain for a time will instead work off your debt.
The reason I don't like this, first of all, it's kind of okay because you're not actually losing XP, but this is similar to like kind of like how what do you call it? First of all, can it stack up? Can you get like so much debt by constantly dying, or is it like a one-time deal debt? That's number one. The other thing is, as long as it doesn't reduce your XP, I'm more okay with this. The reason I quit PoE is because I kept losing XP when I got like level 82, 83. I think I actually even got to 88. And every fucking time I'm like 80% to level, and then you fucking die to something stupid. With my build, you would die to something stupid a lot, because it was a teleport nuker. But like if you got hit by reflect damage, you insta die. So, you know, not the best build, but it was really fun. So because of that, I just could not level up for like a week, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. Like, I'm done.
You get skill, stat, health, and mana dampening.
Stat dampening is fine.
You are weaker for a time after death.
That's
you get
fine.
lower gear proficiency. This will tie back into just being weaker. Reduction in drop rates. You will have a lower chance to receive loot from monsters. And
This is probably like the only thing I'm like completely fine with, because this means that you were trying to go to a higher area, or you were trying to get carried, and then you died while getting carried. So like you're not gonna get gear.
ability loss, your gear can break, and you will drop a portion of gathered and processed goods you're carrying on your character.
I hate this, but I also don't mind it as much. Okay. First of all, if you're dying while you have gathering mats on you, like, I mean, tough ditty. This is mostly for the PvP aspect, but that means that PvP needs to be really, really punished for doing this to you. Okay? Because, like, if you're just... Because the way this would work for crafting, I would be gathering. I would not... my purpose when I'm gathering is I am here to gather, not to fight shit. Unless the problem is if you're gathering meat, so you have to kill animals and then you die, then it's kind of fucked, but yeah.
Character. Now, it's a portion, not half, not all, but a portion. If you have 100 iron ore, you die, a player can loot maybe 30 of it. Percentages aren't yet set, so lots of testing is still needed here, but that's it. You will not drop your gear or completed crafting items, whatever. You only drop crafting resources.
That's good.
However,
unless you're flagged.
A specific scenario in which you can drop your equipped gear. We will circle back to this in just a moment. So now that we know how death penalties work, let's talk about PvP flagging. As I said, there are 3 stages of being PvP flagged. You have non-combatant, meaning a green name. You have combatant, a purple name, and corrupted, a red name. All players will live as non-combatants or a green name most of the time until they decide to attack or fight back in PvP. Let's look at every scenario.
I don't agree about the purple when you defend yourself. I don't agree to that. If somebody attacks you, you should be allowed to fight back without becoming purple.
You could face and how it will affect you. Let's introduce our 2 actors. We have Bob and Sally. They've come all the way from Azeroth today to show us how this system works. First, we have 2 non-combatants. The in-game name color will represent the flag, but in my demonstration here, it's the colored outline around the character. So we have Bob and Sally. Bob decides he's going to attack Sally.
I noticed you've been gathering herbs for a while, and I think I'll take some.
Bob strikes Sally and turns into
purple.
a combatant, or purple. Oh, that's mighty rude of you. I won't go down without a fight. Sally strikes back to
this I don't
herself.
agree with.
She engages in PvP and turns purple as well.
I don't agree with this.
Consensual PvP. Sally loses, and because she died as a combatant, Bob suffers no corruption and remains a combatant himself.
That's bullshit.
In the next scenario, Bob decides to attack Sally and flags as a combatant or purple yet again. This time, Sally says, I won't fight back this time, so you get corruption and you'll be punished. Bob says,
I'm not interested in any corruption today. I'll see you around.
And he walks away. Because he didn't kill
he's still
Sally,
purple.
he gains no corruption, and his purple combatant state will last for 90 seconds. After that, he'll become a green non-combatant once more. In the next
that is
scenario,
basically for
Bob
the
decides
mistake. If you by mistake hit somebody, I'm okay with that. But that's why I said, like, if there's like a toggle on, like you toggle that you can't attack players by mistake, right? But if you're being attacked, you don't need to toggle to attack players.
To attack Sally again, turning into a combatant. Sally does not want to fight back and instead pleads for her life. Please, I don't want a PvP. Just leave me alone. Bob says,
too bad. I know you've got herbs and ore and I want it.
He strikes her down. Because Sally never fought back and stayed a non-combatant or green, Bob is now corrupted. Now let's look at the other possible scenarios. If you're a non-combatant and you come across a corrupted player and you decide to attack, you will remain a non-combatant or green player. The same rule
that I'm
applies
fine
if
with.
you were already a combatant as well. Your status won't change if you attack a corrupted player. Now, if you're already corrupted and you decide to kill a non-combatant, your corruption increases. But if you're a corrupted player and you attack a combatant or another corrupted player, your corruption stays exactly the same. It will not increase further. Now that we
Wait, but if you attack a combatant? Really? Okay.
know all the stages of flagging, let's talk about corruption. What does it do? Well, your corruption increases with every non-combatant or green player you kill, and it has a scaling effect on your character in PvP combat. You will receive stacking, skill, and stat dampening the higher your corruption goes, ultimately making you ineffective in PvP. So you won't be able
The
to
thing
just
is, this is what I don't like about this. Unless you kill the player, you don't get red, right? Think rogues in open world PvP. You know what I mean? Where they can just like infinitely keep CCing you and shit. Or like they don't have to do the finishing blow. Let's say you're fighting mobs and he just comes, starts stunning you and just leaves and lets the mobs kill you and shit like that. Stuff like that I think are not gonna be good design. Because like he will remain purple in that case, right?
non-stop. At some point, you will just be tickling your opponent. But remember this, it only affects PvP combat. And when you die as a corrupted player, you have a chance to drop your gear, as in your armor and weapons.
Yeah.
Remember, dropping gear only applies to being corrupted. And you will also be highlighted and trackable on the map for bounty hunter players, the natural enemy for the corrupted. We also have some quick
I am
hacks for
definitely,
corruption.
by
You
the
can
way,
work on
I am 100% a bounty hunter player. I hate griefers. I am 100% a bounty hunter
off
player.
your corruption status by grinding mobs. It's best to get it done before the bounty hunters show up. Also, dying does not reset corruption, but it does lessen it. So multiple deaths may be required to get it gone. If you
I don't agree with this. I feel like the only way you would be able to get rid of corruption is either XP farm or like doing good deeds. The problem is like if you can wait it out, that's not a good mechanic. Because you can be like, even though you can be detected on the map, there can be some really hard to get to places behind like a field of mobs. Like let's say you're a rogue, right, and you just sneak to like the end of like some delve, and the whole delve is filled with mobs. Like, is the hunter gonna be like fucking trying to go through a ton of mobs to go get to you? And once you get to him, right, it's like, I don't know, man. And he might just ambush you while you're fighting mobs to get to him, you know? It's like, I don't know about that.
If you try to log out while corrupted, it takes 60 seconds to do so. NPC guards will attack corrupted players on site, so you cannot enter a city. If you try and
But here's the thing. What if he drops his gear somewhere or transfers it? I don't know how mail is gonna work. Or I know you can't trade, but you can still drop your gear regardless. So you bring a friend, drop the gear, the friend takes the gear, right? Unless you can drop and just drops off your corpse as loot rather than like an actual item that you drop. I don't really know how it works, but it's like, I understand you can't trade, but can you just drop it on the ground? Probably not, right?
heal or buff a corrupted player, you will become corrupted yourself. If you kill a player far below your level, you will gain a massive amount of corruption,
Yeah.
and there will be a penalty for spawn camping, so be ready for the consequences. Now remember those death penalties we talked about a bit earlier. Let's examine how they apply to PvP flagging. If you die as a green non-combatant player, you will suffer the normal amount of death penalties.
Yeah.
If you die as a purple combatant player, you will suffer death penalties at half the rate of a green or non-combatant player. If you die as a red corrupted player, you will suffer 4 times the amount of death penalties as a green non-combatant player on top of your corrupt.
Wait. Half the rate of non-combatant? That would be half the rate. Twice the rate, I would assume, is what he meant. And red is 4x.
The amount of death penalties as a green non-combatant player on top of your corruption penalties as well. So basically, if you get corruption, you're screwed. It will have a
Kinda.
huge detrimental effect on your character. I really don't see a world where it's ever a good idea to go corrupt. This is in place to make sure that Ashes of Creation does not become a gank box. So with all the current facts laid out, it would appear the best way to die would be as a purple combatant. This will have the least negative effect on your character. So if you get attacked, the best option is to fight back. Hell, you might even win. And also keep in mind that the death penalties have not yet been tested. This whole system could change. Now that you're
okay, so he was right. It is at half. Interesting. Oh, so it encourages you to fight back, to defend yourself. Okay, so that's why you're purple. Interesting.
On the PvP flagging system and the death penalties as they are right now, you may be wondering under what circumstances may they apply. You can watch.
What if purple attacks a purple? Right. I don't think he went over that option. Somebody who's already purple attacking somebody who's already purple.
This video to learn all about it. As always, thank you so
Let's
much
see.
for watching.
Let's see the examples again.
Going to attack Sally.
I noticed you've been gathering herbs for a while, and I think I'll take
Purple. Oh, that's Mighty herself.
Okay.
Sally loses.
Yeah, in this case, I get it. In this case, he will be red because he killed her. But what if Sally killed him?
She died as a combatant. Bob suffers no corruption. And
oh, okay, never mind. So he won't suffer corruption as long as he... Okay, got it. But she also lost a lot less of her herbs because she fought back. Okay, I see how it is. Interesting. So complex. I don't really agree with this, but it's fine, I guess. Overall, it's not that big of a deal. I do hate the death penalties, though, for sure. You would definitely want to play a character that can survive a lot of fucking heat, so maybe you will be able to run away, find a field of players, and they will kill the purple for you, you know? But yeah, interesting. Okay, so that clarifies the PvP aspect of the game, which is totally fine. Not that the PvP is fun, but like, it's good that I understand it now. Definitely severe punishments for red players, though. Like, in my opinion, like, it should be very, 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 very punishing for red players to prevent griefing. Right? That's what I think. Because I can see a guild forming around a red player. Like, a guild that is literally always does griefing, and then they just take turns about who's the griefer and who's defending, stuff like that. But again, like, the possibility of this being an actual issue are very low, but you never know, right? It's like in games like these with actual open PvP, there are some really shitty people, right? So we'll see how that goes. But anyways, overall, I'm not too disappointed with this system as a whole as far as world PvP would go. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. Give a Roarrior a sub, a like, and comment on this video. And if you got time, do it for me too. Anyways, thanks for watching and see ya in the next one. Peace out.